Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. In this tutorial, I will show you how to create this procedural rock material in Blender. Alright, let's begin the tutorial. Any key I press and every click I make will be displayed here on the screen, so you can easily follow along. So, I've already prepared the lighting setup, and let me quickly walk you through it. First, I have a camera set up for the scene. Then, there's this light with a light blue color placed inside the sphere, which will illuminate the model from below using an emission shader. Next, I have this larger white light that provides overall illumination to the model. I'm also using an HDRI to enhance the lighting and reflections. If you'd like to use the same HDRI, you can download it from the link provided in the description. Now that the scene is ready, let's start creating the procedural rock material. Press Shift+A and add a UV sphere to the scene. Increase its subdivisions to 6 to give it enough geometry for detailed displacement later on. Next, add a subdivision surface modifier. Enable adaptive subdivision and set the dicing scale to 10. Dicing scale controls how finely the mesh is subdivided at render time. Lower values create more detailed but require more processing power, while higher values reduce detail and render faster. Now, select the sphere and create a new material. Then, go to the material settings and change displacement from bump. This allows the material to create real geometric displacement. Now, let's move to the shader editor and start building the material. Press Shift-A and add a Voronoi texture node. To preview its output directly, hold Shift-Control and left-click on the Voronoi texture node. This will automatically connect it to the material output, allowing you to see the result instantly in the rendered viewport. Next, change the Voronoi texture from 3D to 4D. Using 4D adds an extra dimension to the texture calculations, which helps create more natural and less repetitive patterns compared to standard 3D nodes. Now, change the feature from F1 to F2. F2 measures the distance to the second closest cell instead of the closest one, producing more irregular and rock-like shapes that work better for this material. Then, change the distance metric from Euclidean to Manhattan. The Manhattan distance creates sharper, more angular patterns, which are ideal for achieving a rugged rock surface. Finally, set the scale value to 3.8. This controls the overall size of the Voronoi pattern and gives us a good foundation for the rock structure. Now, select the Voronoi texture node and press Ctrl-T. It automatically adds a texture coordinate node and a mapping node, both connected to the Voronoi texture. We don't need the mapping node for this setup, so go ahead and delete it. Next, connect the object output from the texture coordinate node to the vector input of the Voronoi texture node. Using object coordinates ensures that the procedural texture is generated consistently in 3D space, giving us stable and predictable results across the entire model. Next, press Shift-E and add a nose texture node. Connect the object output from the texture coordinate node to the vector input of the nose texture. To preview the nose texture, hold Shift-Control and left-click on the nose texture node. Next, adjust the nose texture settings, set the scale value to 6. And increase the detail value to 15. The scale controls the overall size of the nose pattern, while the detail setting adds finer variations and surface complexity. Now, let's combine these textures to create a more interesting rock pattern. Add a mix color node and place it between the texture coordinate node and the Voronoi texture node. Change the blend mode from mix to linear light. Next, connect the color output of the nose texture to the B input of the mix color node. The linear light blend mode helps introduce subtle distortion and variation into the Voronoi pattern, making the rock surface look less uniform and more natural. Adjust the factor value to control the strength of this effect. For this material, set the factor to 0.100. Now add another mix color node. Connect the FAC output of the nose texture to the A input, and connect the distance output of the Voronoi texture to the B input. Set the factor value to 0.300. This provides a good balance between the two textures while preserving the overall rock structure. Next, Connect the output of the second mix color node to the base color input of the principal BSDF, You can also connect the same output to the roughness input. Now, add a color RAM node and place it between the mix color node and the base color input of the principal BSDF. From the color ramp options, choose Flip Color Ramp, then adjust the black and white handles until you get a contrast similar to the one shown on screen. This allows you to control the color distribution and define the overall appearance of the rock. Next, add another color ramp node and use it to fine-tune the roughness values. Adjust the handles as needed to create a more varied surface response to light. At this point, you'll probably notice that the material still doesn't look much like a rock. That's because we haven't added any surface depth yet. This is where the most important part begins. First, take the distance output from the Voronoi texture and use it to drive the surface normals. However, connecting it directly won't work properly, so add a bump node in between. Connect the Voronoi texture's distance output to the height input of the bump node. The bump node converts grayscale information into normal detail, creating the illusion of depth and surface variation without modifying the actual geometry. You'll start to see some additional surface detail, but the rock still won't have real displacement. To create actual geometry displacement, connect the Voronoi texture's distance output to the displacement input of the material output. You'll notice that the result doesn't look quite right. That's because the displacement is too strong and isn't being controlled properly. To fix this, add a displacement node between them. Connect the Voronoi texture's distance output to the height input of the displacement node. Then connect the displacement output of that node to the displacement input of the material output. This gives us full control over the displacement effect. Now, adjust the displacement node settings. Mid-level, 0.26. Scale, 0.100. As soon as you make these adjustments, you'll see the sphere transform into a much more convincing rock shape. The combination of procedural textures, bump mapping, and true displacement creates a highly detailed and realistic rock material entirely inside Blender. I hope you really enjoyed it and learned something new today. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more amazing Blender and 3D content. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next tutorial.